The hospital room came into focus slowly. White walls, beeping machines, the antiseptic smell that made my stomach turn. Easy, easy. A gentle hand pressed against my shoulder. Don't try to sit up yet. I blinked, trying to place the voice. My boss. Mrs. Park. What? My throat felt like sandpaper. You collapsed at work, she said softly. She sat in the chair beside my bed, still wearing her office clothes, her salt and pepper hair slightly disheveled like she'd been running her hands through it. You've been out for about 3 hours. 3 hours. I tried to remember what happened, but everything after the spinning room was blank. The baby. The words came out before I could stop them. Mrs. Park's expression softened. The baby is fine. But Lucia, you're not. When was the last time you ate a real meal? I couldn't remember. Days. A week. The doctor says you're severely malnourished and dehydrated. Her voice was gentle but firm. You're 11 weeks pregnant and you weigh less than you should. This isn't sustainable. Tears pricked at my eyes. I'm sorry. I'll do better. Please don't fire me. I need this job. I can't. Lucia. She took my hand. I'm not firing you. I'm worried about you. That simple kindness broke something in me. I started crying, really crying, for the first time since that night. Great heaving sobs that shook my whole body. Mrs. Park didn't say anything. She just held my hand and let me fall apart. When I finally calmed down enough to breathe, she handed me tissues from the bedside table. I don't know what you're going through, she said quietly. And you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. But I can see you're in trouble. And I can help if you'll let me. Why? I whispered. Why would you help me? You barely know me. Something sad and understanding crossed her face. Because I've been where you are. Not the exact situation, but, she paused. I know what it's like to be alone and scared and pregnant. I know what it's like when the world feels like it's ending. I looked at her, really looked at her for the first time. At the kindness in her eyes, the genuine concern. No one had looked at me like that in so long. I don't know if I can do this, I admitted. The baby. My life. Any of it. You don't have to figure it all out right now. He squeezed my hand. But you do need to eat. You do need to take care of yourself. Can you do that? I wanted to say yes. Wanted to be strong and capable and not the broken mess I'd become. But all I could manage was, I don't know how. Then let me help you learn. 2 days later I was back at work. Mrs. Park had personally driven me home from the hospital, made sure I had groceries in my apartment, and checked on me every few hours via text. It was strange having someone care. Uncomfortable even. I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, for her to reveal what she wanted from me in exchange. But she just helped. No strings attached. I was filing documents when she appeared at my desk with another woman. Lucia, this is my daughter, Maya. I looked up and felt my breath catch. Maya Park was stunning. Tall, maybe 5 feet 8 inches, with short black hair styled in a professional pixie cut that somehow made her look both powerful and approachable. She wore a sharp charcoal suit and carried herself with the kind of confidence I'd only ever seen in Sarah. But unlike Sarah's cold confidence, Maya's felt warm. Her dark eyes were intelligent and kind as she extended her hand. It's nice to meet you, Lucia. My mom's told me a bit about you. I shook her hand, acutely aware of how I must look. Tired, pale, wearing my cheapest work clothes. All good things, I hope, I managed. Always. Maya's smile was genuine. I'm a lawyer. I specialize in assault and harassment cases. My mom thought maybe we should talk. My stomach dropped. I can't afford. Pro bono, Maya said immediately. No cost to you. I just want to hear your story if you're willing to share it. I looked at Mrs. Park, who nodded encouragingly. Why? I asked Maya. Why would you help me for free? Maya's expression grew serious. Because my mom taught me that when you can help someone, you should. And because I'm good at what I do and I hate seeing people get away with hurting others. Something in her voice, fierce and protective, made me believe her. Can we go somewhere private? I heard myself ask. Mrs. Park let us use the small conference room. Maya pulled out a legal pad and recorder. Everything you say here is confidential, she explained. Client-attorney privilege, even though we haven't formally signed anything yet. You can tell me as much or as little as you want. And you can stop at any time. I nodded, my hands twisting in my lap. Start wherever feels right, Maya said gently. So I did. I told her about Pamela. About the 3.5 years together, the promises, the proposal that was supposed to happen. About Sarah, my sister who'd abandoned me after our parents died. I told her about the anniversary dinner. The wine that kept appearing. How wrong everything felt. When I got to the hotel room, my voice started shaking. Maya reached across the table and put her hand near mine. Not touching, just close enough to be comforting. Take your time, she said. I described waking up. The blood. Vein. Going to Pamela's apartment for help. And finding her in bed with Sarah. Maya's jaw tightened, but she stayed quiet, letting me continue. I told her what they said. About drugging me. About it being planned. About them laughing at me. When I finished, I was crying again. I seem to do that a lot lately. Maya was quiet for a long moment. Then she said very carefully, Lucia, what Pamela and Sarah did to you, that's not just cruel. It's criminal. They drugged you and arranged for you to be sexually assaulted. That's conspiracy to commit rape. That's serious prison time. I don't have proof, I whispered. It's just my word against theirs. Maybe not. Maya made notes on her pad. Do you remember the name of the restaurant? The hotel. I nodded. Good. We can get receipts, security footage, timeline, everything. Do you know if Pamela paid for the room? She must have. I couldn't afford it. Then there's a paper trail. Maya's eyes were sharp, focused. Credit card records. Reservation details. And if they were texting about it. She looked up. Do you still have your phone from that night? Yes, but I blocked their numbers. That's okay. We can potentially recover deleted messages from your carrier. And more importantly, we can subpoena their phones, their emails. She leaned forward. Lucia, I think we can build a case here. But I need to know, are you willing to fight? Because it won't be easy. You'll have to relive everything. Testify. Face them in court. The thought made me want to vomit. But then I thought about what they'd done. About them laughing. About Sarah calling me pathetic. About Pamela saying I was just entertainment. About this baby growing inside me, created from violence they'd orchestrated. I'm pregnant, I said quietly. From that night. Maya's expression softened. I know. My mom told me. I'm so sorry. They tried to destroy me. My voice was stronger now. They wanted me to disappear, to break, to just cease to matter. And for a while it worked. But I'm still here. I looked up, meeting her eyes. And I want them to pay. Maya smiled, fierce and proud. Then let's make that happen. The eviction notice appeared on my door 3 days after my meeting with Maya. 30 days to vacate the premises due to property violations and unpaid late fees I didn't even know I owed. Mr. Elvis had been documenting every tiny infraction for months, building his case. I stared at the paper, feeling the familiar numbness settling over me. Of course this was happening. Why wouldn't it? I was sitting on my floor, surrounded by boxes I couldn't afford to pack when my phone rang. Mrs. Park. Lucia, I heard about the eviction, she said without preamble. Maya told me. How did she? She's already started digging into your landlord. Apparently he's done this to multiple tenants. But that's not why I'm calling. She paused. I have a spare room. It's not much, but it's clean and safe. And it's yours if you want it. I couldn't speak. Just until you get back on your feet, she continued. No rent, just help with groceries when you can. And before you say no, think about the baby. Think about what's best for both of you. Mrs. Park, I can't. Grace, she interrupted. Call me Grace. And yes, you can. You need help and I'm offering it. That's what people do. But why? I don't understand why you're being so kind to me. There was a long pause. When she spoke again, her voice was soft. My husband died when Maya was 3. I was 28, pregnant with my second child and completely alone. Someone helped me then. Let me pay it forward. Pregnant with your second child, I thought. But Maya was an only child. Grace seemed to read my silence. I lost the baby. Stress, grief, not taking care of myself. I don't want to see you go through that. So please, let me help. What choice did I have? Pride? I'd lost that in a hotel room 3 months ago. Okay, I whispered. Thank you. Grace's apartment was in a modest neighborhood, nothing fancy but clean and safe. The spare room was small but painted a warm cream color, with a real bed and a window that got morning light. It was the nicest place I'd lived since my parents died. Bathrooms down the hall, Grace showed me around. Kitchen is open anytime. I usually eat dinner around 7 and you're welcome to join me. Or not. Whatever you're comfortable with. I set my single suitcase down, overwhelmed by the simple kindness of it all. Grace? Why did you stay at the hospital that day? You could have just sent me home. She smiled sadly. Because you looked like I felt 28 years ago. Like you were drowning and didn't know how to ask for help. And because no one should have to go through pregnancy alone, especially when, she stopped herself. When it's from trauma, I finished quietly. Maya told me. I hope that's okay. It's okay. I sat on the edge of the bed. I don't know how to do this. Any of this. Grace sat beside me. One day at a time. Today you move in. Tomorrow you eat breakfast. The day after maybe you sleep a little better. Small steps. And the baby? We'll figure it out. You don't have to decide everything right now. For the first time in months I felt like maybe, just maybe, I could breathe. Maya worked fast. Within 2 weeks she had hotel security footage showing Pamela handing me the key card, then leaving with Sarah. Credit card receipts proving Pamela paid for the room. Restaurant receipts with timestamps. Testimony from the waiter who served us, who remembered Sarah and Pamela ordering specific wine and taking care of my glass. They were sloppy, Maya said during one of our meetings. Arrogant. They didn't think you'd fight back. We were in her office. Sleek, professional, with diplomas on the wall and case files stacked neatly. I felt out of place in my worn jeans and borrowed maternity top from Grace. We still don't have the text messages, I said. Not yet. But I filed a motion to subpoena their phone records. If they were planning this, and I'm betting they were, there will be evidence. And the man. I couldn't say my rapist out loud yet. Who was he? Maya's expression darkened. We're working on that. Hotel records show the room was accessed 3 times that night. Once by you, once by someone with a master key, likely staff, and once by an unknown male. We're reviewing all footage from that floor, identifying everyone who went in and out. The thought of seeing his face made my stomach turn. I don't know if I can do this, I admitted. Relive it all. Face them. Maya leaned forward, her eyes intense. You're already doing it, Lucia. Every day you get up, go to work, take care of yourself despite everything they did. That's fighting back. The courtroom is just making it official. What if they win? What if the jury doesn't believe me? Then we appeal. We keep fighting. But Lucia? She waited until I met her eyes. The evidence is strong. Their own arrogance documented their crime. And I'm very good at what I do. There was something comforting about her confidence. Not arrogant like Sarah's. Just certain. Hey, I said. Let's do this. Maya smiled. That's my girl. Something warm bloomed in my chest at those words. Living with Grace was strange. Good strange, but strange nonetheless. She didn't hover or pry. She just existed alongside me, creating a quietly supportive presence. Every morning there was breakfast ready. Nothing fancy, toast, eggs, fruit, but it was there. Consistent. Reliable. You need to eat, she'd say gently when I pushed food around my plate. The baby needs nutrients. I was 13 weeks now. The morning sickness was finally easing, but my appetite was still shot. Everything felt heavy in my stomach, weighted with anxiety. But Grace was patient. She'd sit with me, eating her own breakfast, talking about neutral things. Whether a funny incident at work, a show she was watching. Never about my past. Never pushing. One evening, about 2 weeks after I moved in, I found her in the kitchen making soup. I hope you don't mind, she said. It's my grandmother's recipe. Maya's favorite when she was little. The smell made my stomach growl. The first time I'd actually felt hungry in months. It smells amazing. Grace smiled. Sit. I'll make you a bowl. We ate in comfortable silence for a while. The soup was perfect. Warm, nourishing, made with care. Grace. I said quietly. Thank you. For everything. I know I haven't said it enough, but... You don't have to thank me, sweetheart. Yes, I do. You didn't have to help me. Most people wouldn't have. She set down her spoon and looked at me. When I lost my second baby, I blamed myself for years. I thought if I'd just been stronger, eaten better, rested more, maybe he would have lived. Grace. But my therapist, eventually, helped me understand that sometimes terrible things happen and they're not our fault. The grief, the trauma, the stress. It was too much. And I was alone. She reached across the table and took my hand. You're not alone, Lucia. Not anymore. So yes, I'm helping you. But it's not charity. It's what humans should do for each other. I squeezed her hand, too emotional to speak. Tao, eat, she said, her voice lighter. You're eating for two, and this baby deserves my grandmother's soup. For the first time in 4 months, I actually laughed. Maya called me at work, her voice tight with controlled excitement. We got them. I stepped into the hallway for privacy. Got who? Pamela and Sarah. The subpoena came through. Their text messages. She paused. Lucia, they documented everything. Every step of their plan. My legs went weak. I leaned against the wall. What did they say? I'll send you the full transcript, but I heard papers rustling. Here's a sample. From Pamela to Sarah, 3 weeks before your anniversary. Found the perfect guy for our project. Told him it's a kink thing, consensual. He's down. My stomach turned. And Sarah's response, perfect. Can't wait to see the look on her face when she figures it out. I slid down the wall, sitting on the floor. There's more, Maya continued. Plans about the restaurant, the wine, the sedative. They called it, teaching you a lesson multiple times. Sarah specifically mentions wanting to put you in your place. They really did it, I whispered. They really planned the whole thing. Yes. And now we have proof. Documentary evidence that shows premeditation, conspiracy, intent. This isn't just assault anymore, Lucia. This is felony conspiracy with multiple charges. I should have felt victorious. Dad, I just felt sick. The man. I managed to ask. We identified him through the hotel footage and cross-referenced with Pamela's messages. His name is Derek Chin. 29, works construction. She approached him at a bar, told him exactly what you said, that it was consensual, a fantasy scenario. So he didn't know. He claims he didn't know. But he also didn't verify consent directly from you, which makes him criminally negligent at minimum. He's facing charges too. This Derek Chin. He was a person. A real person who'd been lied to, manipulated into. Well, I couldn't think about it. Couldn't humanize him. Not yet. What happens now? I asked. Now I file charges. Criminal charges against Pamela Richards and Sarah Martinez for conspiracy to commit rape, administering drugs without consent, and assault. Against Derek Chin for sexual assault. And then we prepare for the fight of our lives. When? I'm filing tomorrow. By next week they'll be arrested. Arrested. Pamela and Sarah in handcuffs. Facing what they'd done. Lucia? Are you okay? I didn't know. This was what I wanted. Justice, consequences, them paying for what they'd done. But it also meant everything was about to become real. Public. No more hiding. I'm scared, I admitted. I know. Maya's voice softened. But you're not alone in this. I'll be with you every step. My mom will be there. And Lucia? You're stronger than you think. You've already survived the worst of it. Had I? Or was the worst yet to come? Hey, I said. File the charges. Already writing it up. I'll call you tomorrow with updates. After we hung up, I sat in that hallway for a long time, one hand on my stomach where the baby was growing. I'm doing this for both of us, I whispered. So you never have to be ashamed of where you came from. So they can't hurt anyone else. The baby didn't respond, obviously. But somehow saying it out loud made it feel real. I was fighting back. And this time I was going to win. I was 14 weeks pregnant when I finally made my decision. It happened on a quiet Sunday morning at Grace's apartment. She'd gone to the farmer's market, leaving me alone with my thoughts and a cup of tea I couldn't quite stomach. I stood in front of the bathroom mirror, a habit I'd developed, staring at my reflection. The dark circles were fading. My hair had more life to it. Grace's cooking had put a little weight back on my frame. And my stomach no longer flat. A small, undeniable swell. I placed my hand there, feeling the warmth through my shirt. I don't know if I can do this, I whispered to my reflection. To the baby. This baby. You came from the worst thing that ever happened to me. Tears slipped down my cheeks. Everyone keeps saying it's not your fault. That you're innocent. But how do I separate you from that night? How do I look at you and not remember? The apartment was silent except for my breathing. The doctor said if I terminate I'll never have children. Never have the option again. I swallowed hard. And I know I'm a lesbian. I know I never planned on biological kids anyway. But having that choice taken away, it feels like another thing they stole from me. My hand pressed firmer against my stomach. I hate what happened. I hate them. I hate that you exist because of violence and cruelty and betrayal. My voice broke. But I don't hate you. And maybe that's enough to start with. I heard the front door open, Grace returning. Lucia, she called. I got those strawberries you liked. I wiped my eyes and took a shaky breath. I'm keeping the baby, I said to my reflection. To myself. Making it real. When I told Grace, she simply hugged me. Whatever you decide, I support you, she said. But I'm glad. Not because I think you have to, but because I think you'll be a wonderful mother. How can you say that? I'm a mess. I can barely take care of myself. You're taking care of yourself better every day. And you're not alone in this. She pulled back, looking me in the eye. You have me. You have Maya. And you have your own strength even if you can't see it yet. When I told Maya during our next meeting, her response was different but equally supportive. Does this change your feelings about the trial? She asked. Some people find it harder to testify when they're pregnant. The stress. No, I said firmly. If anything, it makes me more determined. This baby didn't ask to be created this way. The least I can do is make sure the people responsible face consequences. Maya's smile was fierce and proud. Good. Because we have an arraignment date. Next Thursday. My stomach flipped. They'll be there. Yes. Both of them. You don't have to attend, but I want to. The words surprised me. I want to look them in the eye and let them see that I'm still here. That they didn't win. Then we'll go together. The courthouse was intimidating. All marble and authority and echoing footsteps. Maya walked beside me, professional in her power suit, carrying a briefcase like she owned the place. Grace had wanted to come but was working. She'd made me promise to call her afterward. They'll be brought in separately, Maya explained as we waited outside the courtroom. You'll see them but you won't be near them. I'll be right there the whole time. I nodded, trying to calm my racing heart. I was 15 weeks now, the small bump visible under my loose blouse. I caught myself touching it, a nervous habit I'd developed. The doors opened. We entered. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. A few reporters sat in the gallery. Maya had warned me the case was attracting media attention. Conspiracy to commit rape made headlines apparently. Then they brought Pamela in. She looked different. Her blonde hair wasn't styled perfectly. She wore an orange jumpsuit instead of her usual trendy clothes. But her eyes, when they found me across the courtroom, held the same cold contempt. She smiled. Actually smiled like this was all amusing. My hands clenched in my lap. Don't react, Maya whispered. That's what she wants. Sarah came in next. Unlike Pamela, she looked furious. Her short black hair was disheveled, dark eyes blazing as she scanned the room. When she saw me, her lip curled in disgust. Even now, even here, she looked at me like I was beneath her. The judge entered, a stern woman in her 60s, and the proceedings began. Maya had explained this was just formal charges being read, pleas being entered. The real trial would come later. But sitting there listening to the charges against them, conspiracy to commit rape in the first degree, administering controlled substances without consent, assault, made it real in a way nothing else had. This was happening. They were actually going to be held accountable. When it was Pamela's turn to enter a plea, she spoke clearly, "Not guilty, Your Honor." Sarah, when prompted, "Not guilty." Of course. Maya had warned me they'd deny everything despite the evidence. "We'll prove it," she'd said. "Don't worry." The judge set a trial date, 3 months away, and bail terms. Both were released on bail with conditions. No contact with me, ankle monitors, travel restrictions. As they were let out, Pamela looked at me one more time. This time her smile faltered. Because I wasn't cowering. Wasn't crying. I was sitting up straight, one hand on my stomach, and I looked right back at her. I'm still here, I thought. And I'm not afraid of you anymore.